Hello everyone. In this lesson, we're going to focus on vectors, but we would like to revise some of the areas that pupils found difficult in the previous lessons. So I thought I will just do a demonstration explaining about vectors and how vectors could be used in ratios. First one, express the vector OY in terms of A and B. Now we do know parallel and opposite and they are equal vectors. OX is parallel to ZY and they equal, hence there would be the same. So O to Y would be A, O to Z plus Z to Y, which is A plus B. Now most of the pupils are getting more familiar and are fluent in finding the missing vectors, which doesn't involve fractions or ratio. Now, are integer values enough to describe any movement? Not really. Sometimes we do have negative vectors to describe opposite movements or movements outside the provided shape. We do require to use fractions when we involve midpoints or ratio. For example, O to M vector. We know M is the midpoint of Z, Y, so Z to M will be half B. So O to M will be A plus half B. X to Z, M. Press pause, try this question. Once you attempted, press play to check the answer. Z to M, we could use Z to O plus O to Z plus half of B. Notice Z to O is opposite direction to O to Z, hence it's minus B. Simplifying it would give us A minus half B. Using that as a reference, please answer this question. Press pause now. Here are the answers. We know n is the midpoint of xy, so x to n would be half a. So O to n would be O to x, which is b, plus half a. Z to n, similarly we can calculate z to n following the root highlighted, z to y, which is b, and then y to n, which is opposite direction of xn, so it's minus half a. Using the previous one as an example, can you pause now and attempt this question? Here are the answers. Half a, sorry, it's half b minus half a. Now I have two questions for you to attempt. Press pause now and attempt this question on a piece of paper. Once completed, check your answers. Here are the answers. Now we're going to look at questions involving ratio and points which are not on the edge. Now here we have C is the midpoint of OY. So we're going to draw a vector OY and C is the midpoint. So that would be A plus B is the value of OY. So OC vector will be A plus B divided by 2, or A over 2 plus B over 2. Now, there are various forms of representing them. All of them are acceptable, but it's advisable to use A over 2 plus B over 2 because in more complicated questions and which involve simplifying, this fraction format is very useful. Now, let's see what if we have ratio. So we have C, a point that divides a line or y in the ratio 2 to 1. Remember, writing them as fractions, very useful. So O to C is 2 over 3 because that's 2 plus 1, which gives you 3. It forms the denominator. And OC is 2/3 of OY. So that'll be 2/3 of A plus B, which can be written as 2 over 3A plus 2 over 3B. Another ratio we could represent as fraction format, and that will be 2 over 5 of or y, which is 2/5 of A plus 2/5 of B. Now we have another ratio which is 3 to 1. Press pause and attempt this question. Here are the answers. Notice Z to C followed Z to O, which is minus A, plus O to C, which we calculated previously, which gives you 3/4 of A plus 3/4 of B. And this can be simplified as 3/4 of B minus A plus 3/4 of A would give you minus 1/4 of A. Using the previous example, please answer this question. Press pause now. Here are the answers. I now suggest you try the rest of the questions on the Google slide. Once completed, complete the questions on the worksheet. Make sure you show all the working out as usual. If you have any questions, please let me know. Tomorrow we have a mini test on vectors. I repeat, tomorrow we have a mini test on vectors.